A child is taught to put a pen in his hand, to write and draw what they tell him to. Draw the sky, draw the sun, write about what makes you happy and what makes you sad. But don't write what's at the tip of your mind, because neither ink nor words can hold back an ocean. And the universe is too big, the earth is too small, the stars are too hot, so don't burn yourself with words that you cannot handle. So we grow up to be careful. Metaphorical eagles flying to the outskirts of the heavens, grabbing onto verses that we cannot find on earth, placing them on paper, bringing beauty to a mortal world where we die, but the words survive as rivers flowing on wood and songs dancing on the tongues of our descendants. They tell you literature is the weighing and gathering of words to fill the voids of human emptiness and darkness. By building cities out of mist and palaces on the sea, weaving words into gaps once left by reality. But they don't tell you of those oracles who needed no ink to write eternal pieces of poetry, those who did not need to lie nor imagine to fill the empty voids, those who only needed to tell the truth for the pens of eternity to write about them. Walking the earth like quills dipped in ink, gracefully penning life in the peak of its eloquence. Until their valor becomes uncountable prose and their worship stanzas of the finest poetry, prostrating the dots of their alphabets and rising to the syllables of their submission until they become the definition of their birth name, Ali. Today we're gathered in awe of a book, a masterpiece of literature from metaphysics to philosophy to poetry. Mesmerized by the verses, the sermons, but how much have we valued the person? Like generations of orphans gathered around his words, remembering his wisdom, valor, and kindness. We take in his words, sentences, and phrases like painted drawings in a state of blindness, claiming to know a path set by his words in an age of unending darkness. In an age of unending darkness, he remains a source of light and growth. When we're blind to the people around us, he reminds us of our brotherhood. If not a brother in faith and equal in humanity, and how every human is facing his own calamity, so live with them in such a manner that when you die they weep in melancholy, and that, my friends, is when action becomes poetry. So instead of teaching children to put a pen in their hand to draw the sun and the sky, instead tell them to be the sun and be the sky, to be the greatness that's at the tip of their minds, because the universe is only as big as you make it, and the stars are only as hot as you imagine them to be. And words do not need to be written to be eloquent, for actions are the peak of eloquence. And as Imam Ali alayhi salam says, the beauty of writing is the tongue of the hand and the elegance of the soul. وَأَفْلَحَ مَنْ صَلَّى عَلَى مُحَمَّدٍ وَآلِ مُحَمَّدٍ.